he cleared the anthill and he found he's sitting there, Ram, Ram, Ram. Then he woke him up and told him, you are blessed now, everything is okay. So now you can. Then he became a sadhu. He continued to be a sadhu. And then he studied and things like that, became a person who was informed person. So he was considered Valimiki. He got the name Valimiki. Now this Valimiki again happens to meet Narada. And when he meets Narada, he asks him a question. This is how the Ramayana begins. Now come. Om tapaswadhyaya niratam tapasvi vagvidambaram Naradam paripapracha Valmikir Munipungavam Tapaswadhyaya niratam Tapasvi Vagvidambaram Naradam paripapracha Valmikir Munipungavam. It's considered to be one of the very beautiful form of poetry in Sanskrit, in handling of Sanskrit. It's considered to be one standard ancient work. So all others draw inspiration from this work. You can see the grammar. So it is considered to be in Sandhi, in all the important things you will find in the letter he is going to tell. So Vakya Baddham Ityadi, he says, in Sandhi, Samasa, in all of them, they are well done. They are in terms of Sandhi combination, so of letters, etc. And then Samasas in compounds and all that, it has got every example. And so considered to be grammatically very beautiful grantha and style also. And very easy style, and then handled very well. Language is handled very well. That is why it's considered to be a great kavya. Now, tapasvadhyaya niratam tapasvi vagvidambaram naradam paripapracha valmikir munipungavam. Here you can see the subject tapasvadhyaya niratam. The niratam, definitely it is the second case, like Ramam. Second case, not the subject. The subject should be nominative. And so, Vagvidam, Varam, all these end with yum, must be object. We don't know, must be object. Maybe sometimes anything yum is not subject, is not object, but you can fairly see that. If you know grammar, there is no problem. Vagvidam, Varam, Naradam, Paripapracha, Valmikir Munipungavam. And in this, two words alone are in the nominative. One is tapasvi, the other is Valmikihi. So tapasvi, tapasvadhyaya niratam, tapasvi, vagvidambaram, tapasvi, number one. Then Naradam paripapracha, Valmikihi, Munipungavam, Valmikir Munipungavam. So, that Valmikihi Munipungavam, iti, that Valmiki tapasvi. These two adjectives in Sanskrit are in the same case ending and also number as the noun is. So Valmiki, the one who was known as Valmiki, for him there is an appellation, adjective, tapasvi. Tapasvi Valmiki. A tapasvi means a man who is a great ascetic. A great ascetic, a person of great control, discipline, sacrifice, and this Valmiki was a robber turned like that because he was an integrated person. What he required was only a change of vision and a conversion. That was all necessary. His scales of values were changed by Narada. You found Valmiki transformed. Why? Because his case was one of ignorance, want of light, and convincing. When he was convinced, he was a different person. Why? Because he was a whole person. So there was no split in him. He had no conflicts whatsoever. And therefore, he became, overnight, he became a sadhu like. From that time onwards, he was a sadhu. And so that was Valimiki. He was a whole person. And so he was a tapasvi. A man of, even though he was a robber, he was a man of his own discipline. A man of great control. A man free from conflicts. And so this tapasvi, and who was a Valmiki, and by tapas later, by his meditation, became a tapasvi. So this tapasvi, a man of great control and ascetic life, this tapasvi, one who was known as Valimiki. So this Valimiki, he, tapasvi, papracha, paripapracha. So, pracha, papracha, paripapracha. He asked a wonderful question. Because he asked, my God, he asked. If he had not asked, this Ramayana won't come. He had asked, therefore, paripapracha, pracha, papracha, paripapracha. So this, I remember listening to this Ramayana to one Pandit, a very famous Pandit, who really popularized the whole Ramayana, the storytelling in Tamil Nadu. He used to say, Tapasvadhyaya niratam, tapasvi vagvidambaram, same tune. Naradam paripapracha, Valmikir munipungavam, prachanal papracha, paripapracha. You say, papracha, paripapracha, Naradam paripapracha. Then he will take a little milk also. And so, Naradam paripapracha. So, papracha, and when he takes milk, and then he will cover this like this, and then this, then he will take. I mean, he was a little, perhaps he's shy that others are seeing him or whatever. Papracha, but great, he was really great. In narrating the story, I think he was a great storyteller. I never heard, very interesting. Papracha, paripapracha, Naradam paripapracha. So, he asked properly. So, with lot of humility. That is a paripapracha, paritaha, pariprashnam. So, when you ask an elderly person, a respected person, there is a method of asking. Not like my getting phone, Swamiji, the other day you said, it's like this, I get that. And so this papracha, I mean, they don't mean anything bad, but that's all what they know. There is a method of asking. Papracha, paripapracha, with humility. He did namaskar to him, and afterwards he asked him, Sir, can I ask a question? He said, yes, come on. So then he asked him, Naradam paripapracha, taking permission from him, he asked him this question. Naradam, that sage Narada. Then all appellations for Narada. Because everything ends in second case. Naradam paripapracha. What Narada he is? See, the language you can learn by this. So Naradam, what kind of Naradam? He says, tapasvadhyaya niratam tam. Niratam. Tapasvadhyaya niratam. The one who is in tapas as well as swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means study of Veda. Study of Veda is called swadhyaya. Tapasvadhyaya niratam. Nirataha. The one who, that is again, that comes from Ramudhatulu. Therefore, all that, Rataha, Nirataha, all this comes from that. So, tapasvadhyaya niratam. The one who revels in tapas as well as swadhyaya, study of the Vedas. Means the one who always is student of the Veda. The one who revels in it. And all the time commits himself to that study. A person who was not interested in anything else. He was a sage. So tapasva and tapas. Tapas means a life of contemplation, a life of thinking in terms of God, etc. And so, a life of inquiry. Tapasvadhyaya niratam Naradam. A Narada of this nature, so was given to a life of contemplation, a life of study. So to contemplate, you must have material. Otherwise, what to contemplate? Closing the eyes, you see stars inside. And so, you must have some material. Therefore, daily he has got study. So, he studies and in contemplations. So, unto him, tapasvadhyaya niratam Naradam, tapasvi Valimiki. And again, what kind of Naradam? Vagvidambaram. Vagvidambaram. And then again, Vagvidambaram. Among the people who are Vakvit. Vakvit means the one who knows the Vak. The one who knows the Vak. Vagvidam. among the Vagvidam, among the people who are masters of speech, masters of words, or masters of Vedas also you can say, masters of words, Vagvidam, and among them he is Varaha. Varaha means the more exalted. Therefore, the one who was exalted among the people of letters. Among the people of letters, among the educated people who had mastery of language, and so among them he was Vagvidam Varam. So Vagvidam Varam, the one who was a great master of language, etc. Vagvidam Varam. So Varam, so it goes along with Vagvidam Varam. So the one who is master among the educated people who were men of letters, of course. Then again, Muni Pungavam. So Muni Pungavam means, then again Pungavaha means Sreshtaha. So Muni Pungavaha, Muninam Pungavaha. So Muninam Manana Silanam Pungavaha. The one who was a Muni means a man who is able to be with himself and one who is able to reflect. So the one who is Muni, the one who doesn't really take things just like that, who assimilates, who tries to assimilate any knowledge gathered, is called Munihi. Therefore, Muni Shreshtaha, the one who is a Shreshta Purusha among the Munis, among the people who are given to reflection and who don't just like that, who don't accept, but then accept and absorb. And thus he was a person given to thinking. That's all what he said. Given to thinking, given to study, given to contemplation, and he had enough education to do all that. Vagvidam Varam. He was an educated person, and so that kind of a sage, who was a person, a very saintly person, this Narada, who had given his life for contemplation for God. Well, so Tam Naradam Vagvidam Varam Muninam Pungavam, then Vagvidam Varam, then himself, so Swadhyaya Tapaswadhyaya Niratam Tapasvi Valimiki Paripah Pracha. Properly asked him this question. One sloka, first sloka. And then again, what is the next? He says, Konvasmin Sampratam Loke Gunavan Kascha Viryavane Dharmajnascha Kritajnascha Satyavakyo Dridhavrataha Konvasmin Sampratam Loke Gunavan Kascha Viryavane Dharmajnascha Kritajnascha Satyavakyo Dridhavrataha Charitrena Chako Yuktaha Sarvabhuteshu Kohitaha Vidwan Kahkas Samartascha Kaschaika Priyadarshanaha Atmavan Kojita Krodaha Dutiman Kona Suyakaha Kasya Bibhyati Devascha Jataroshasya Samyuge Yedadichamyaham Shrotam Param Kautukalam Hime Maharshatvam Samartosi Jnatumevam Vidam Varam Naram. All this question. This is Valmiki's question to Narada. He says, Kahanu asmin sampratam loke gunavan kascha viryavan. He asks a question. Yetadveditum ichchami. He says at the end, Yetat ichchamyaham shrotum. Aham ichchami shrotum ichchami. Aham shrotum ichchami. Ichchami means what? Ichchami means desire. I desire. aham ichchami. So I desire. What do you desire? Shrotum ichchami. I desire to hear. Shrotum ichchami. Okay. I desire to hear. So what you want to desire, what you desire to hear, he tells all this. Now, Konvasmin sampratam loke gunavan kascha viryavan dharmajnascha kritajnascha satyavakyo dridhavrataha charitrena cha ko yuktaha sarvabhuteshu ko hitaha vidwan kahka samartascha kaschaika priyadarshanaha. So, kahanu means, please tell me, kahanu, is there anyone? Nu stands for is there anyone, and who is he? Kahanu, nu the particle tells, kaha, who, and nu says is there one, kaha, who is that, and is there one, kahanu. Okay, is there one, who is that? He asked this question, kahanu. What? Asmin loke, asmin loke, sampratam loke, asmin loke in this world, sampratam now, at this time in this world, at this present time now in this world. So is there one? Who is that? Gunavan, he is going to tell this kind of fellows. So who is that fellow? So he says all these qualities, all the qualities is going to talk about that person. Is there a man, please tell me, who is Gunavan, the one who has got gunas, all amanitvadi gunas, all those good gunas, values. Is there a man who has got all gunas, a man of good guna? Guna means quality. Is there a man of these qualities? And qualities he tells here. Is there a man of these qualities? Gunavan kaha. Kahanu. Is there a fellow? Sampratam, asmin loke. Even in those days he asked this question. You think of it. Asmin is always the same, I am telling you. He'd never say, he always say our time is very bad and all. It's always the same. So thousands of years ago, you asked the question, is there a fellow in this world? Because in this world I know very well, I don't find anybody. So did you find anybody? Is there a fellow? Asmin loke, sampratam, at this time. So, kahanu, asmin loke, sampratam loke, gunavan, a man of quality. And what kind of quality? It tells that. Gunavan. Who is that? Kascha viryavani. Who is that person again? And who is that person? Kascha viryavani. Viryavan means the one who is, this one quality. Viryavan. The one who is brave. And strength. So strength, viryavan. A man of great strength, viryavan. Physical, mental strength is called viryam. So is there a fellow who is really strong? Who is a man who has got that strength? Strength, that inner strength, moral strength, physical strength also. Gunavan, viryavane. Then again what? Simple. The fellow who has got lot of strength with nothing inside. Generally it is like that. So these two things don't go together. And therefore he is a big fellow. So what is the use here? Underneath it is nothing. And therefore, and so what is the use? So this is good for basketball playing. And therefore, so there should be something. There should be something inside. Therefore he says dharmajnaha. Why? Because if it is all brand, then the brain is something at the cost of brain. So I don't want that. He says, is there a man who is strong, at the same time physically strong, and also dharmajnaha. Dharmam janati. It is dharmajnaha. The one who is a dharmajna, a man of dharma. Dharma means what is right. Right should come to him straight. He need not think twice. As I talked to you about values before, it should just flash, not even flashing. He can't do a wrong thing. Like even a good musician, how immediately where there is the improper music, he will understand. So he need not be told at all whether it is improper or not. Immediately the notes, wrong notes will just stand before him. Similarly, for a person who has got the grasp of dharma, adharma is like a football. He can't miss it. So football for the eyes, I'm telling. And so you can't miss it. And so that's that kind of a person is dharmajnaha. Dharmam janati iti dharmajnaha. Who is the dharmajna? He says, is there one who is a dharmajna? Then again, so Then again, kritajñascha, kritajñaha. And again, dharmajña and kritajñaha. Kritajñaha means you do something to a person, and that is kritam. A karma, a good karma, kritam. So, and that he ever remembers is called kritajñaha. He never forgets. He remembers, he knows what is done to him. Somebody does something good to you, and you remember always. And that is kritajñaha. That is called kritajñata. That quality is called kritajñata. The person is called kritajñaha. So that gratitude, a natural gratitude. So something good done to you, and you ever remember in your lifetime. So the kritajñaha, who never does even a small little thing done to him, he remembers and he pays it back. So this kritajñatvam is nicely said in some of this in Indian literature as a coconut, as a coconut tree. So you plant a coconut tree, and what you have to do is, so this coconut tree is just, it comes up, it doesn't generally die. But it will die if you don't water it for 1 year. You have to water regularly. You should water for a year or two. You should water it, especially in summer. And so you have to, any dirty water is good enough. So what they generally do, any water that goes that way, gutter water and all that, they put it there. And now this water, simple waste water. The waste water goes. So that water you bathe and all that water, so through a canal, it just, by a channel, it just led to the tree. And now, or you pour water. There are many ways of doing. And so they keep the water. For 2 years or something, they just, water they plant. Then it grows up. Once it grows up, and then it grows up and up, and then afterwards, do you know what does it do? It just carries on its head the water that you gave, dirty water that you gave for it, useless water, and now it carries on its head all sterilized, clean water, absolutely distilled, clean water, and sweet also, sweet water, and keep it in a very safe place, and then carries it on its head and gives it to you. That is the coconut tree. So grateful, and never forgets you. And not that once you gave me 10 buckets of water, I will give you 10. It is not so. So it keeps on giving all its lifetime. And never for 100 years, 50 years. Some of the coconut trees live more than 50, 60 years, 100 years. So it will go on giving to you. For years, year after year after year, it will give to you. Never gets tired of it. That is called kritajñata, gratefulness. So it carries on its head and gives it to you. You pour something at the bottom, at the foot, and it carries on its head and gives to you. Carrying on the head is considered to be very respectful. It carries on his head and gives to you because it's so sacred. And thus, so that coconut tree is called a kritajña. He is a kritajña. And so that is likened to that. Any small little thing that was done, it is never forgotten by a mature person. And so he is a very sensitive person. Any mature, sensitive person never forgets anything good done to him. And so any amount of return he gives, still he feels he can, still something more he can do. That fellow is called kritajña. And so, such a person, dharmajñaha, kritajñaha, then satyavakyo dridavrataha, satyavakyaha. So, vakyam, yasya vakyam, satyam. So, satyam iti satyavakya. Whose vakya? Whose words, whose sentences? Always not true. Satyavakyaha. Whose always true they are. So what he speaks carries always the stamp of truth. You need not again twice whether it is true or not. So Satyavakyaha, the one who is Satyavakyaha, Satyavakya also, the one who lives up to the words also. And again the one who says what he says, he means it. Satyavakyaha, dridavrataha, dridavrataha. Vrataha means vratam, dridam vratam yasya, dridavrataha. Vratam means the vow, a resolve is called vratam. So dridavrataha, when he makes a resolve, that's it. Nobody is going to change that resolve. And no God can change that resolve. And such a person, a man of great resolve, unless he decides to change. And so a man of great resolve, and that person, dridavrataha, dridavrataha. But not adamantine, Sometimes the adamantine resolve is useless. Even though things don't go well, and if it is wrong, he is convinced it is wrong, but still he will go with it. I will not change. There's a fellow, he is changed into a pulp in the process. And so there you should become wiser. Dridhavrata. Dridhavrata means he is convinced this is right and it is proper and sticks to it. Dridhavrataha, man of great resolve, with tremendous adaptability also. All that will come later. Charitrena cha ko yuktaha sarva bhuteshu ko hitaha. Who is that person? He says, ko kaha yuktaha. That's who is that person? Is there a person like that? Yuktaha, endowed with. A person yuktaha endowed with charitrena, a charitra, a history, a story to tell. Not a tragedy, but a story. A life so just studded with all kinds of, and punctuated. A life that is punctuated with achievements, accomplishments. And such a person, charitrena yuktaha. A story that is nice to be heard. A story that is nice to tell also. So the tragedy everybody has got. And so it is nothing new about it. Everybody's story is interesting, as I told you. But then there are accomplishments. And there can be narrative. Even for a narrator, there is some kind of enthusiasm. And to narrate a story of a person who has accomplishments, such a person, charitrena yuktaha, a man with a story of his life. So is there a person like that? He says again, Vidwan, because he may be a good person, unknown somewhere in the village. One good person. Dharmajnaha, Dridajnaha, Dridhavrataha ityadi. But then Kritajnaha, but then unknown in some Kumbhakone, somewhere in one corner of the place. So this, if he is there in some place, and it is useless. He says, Charitrena, the one whose story is something full of, it is punctuated with achievements, embellished with a lot of accomplishments. Is there such a person? Charitrena yuktaha kaha. Then again he says, Vidwan. Mere dharmajnatvam. Dharmajnaha means the one who knows right and wrong. That is not enough. Vidwan. He may be good. But then when he has to write a letter, he will go to neighbor. Please write this letter. He may be right. Dharmajnaha, etc. accomplished. But then he requires a secretary for writing a letter. So Vidwan, or reading a letter still a worse thing. So Vidwan. And so a Vidwan means the one who is a Pandita, who is a scholar, who has got scholarship, which is an achievement, a great achievement. Scholarship, and that kind of a scholarship, Vidwan, a Pandita, and who should be a Pandita also Vidwan. My God, he is asking for too many things. Then Vidwan kaha kas samarthaha. And then again, he may be Vidwan, he should be samarthaha. Samarthaha means smart, capable. He should be capable. So he may have resolve everything. He may figure things out. When it comes to action, always wrong. He can't do it. And so, samartha, he should be able to do it, accomplish. He must have skill in his hands. He must be smart enough to do, plan and achieve it, samartha. And so he must be a samartha. Samarthyam is what we call samarthyam. Therefore, he must be one who has got an equivalent, who measures up. In samartha meaning the one who has got qualities, powers which measure up to the desired expectations. To achievement. For accomplishing thing, and you should rise to the occasion. You should rise to the occasion. So to the occasion. So for the occasion. So you require certain powers to measure up to the occasion. And the one who measures up to the occasion and which calls for certain powers, certain qualities, certain efforts on your part, well, that fellow is called samartha. So what is arthyate iti arthaha, and for which the powers also are samaha, and equal. And so the one who has got this equal, one who always is equal to the occasion. Never he buckles down, and one who doesn't duck to an occasion, always stands up and measures. Somehow he rises, he becomes taller to the occasion. If the occasion requires something more from him, well, you find in him, that fellow is the one who always is ready. You can never size him, this much alone he can do, you can never say, because you give him a tougher situation, he is still out of it. You give him a still tougher situation, he is out of it. Every time you find that he measures up to the occasion, and that person is called samartha. He is a samartha, very capable. Kascha eka priyadarshanaha. And then again, the one eka priyadarshanaha. Eka priyadarshanaha means So you see him, and well, so who doesn't, that Priya Darshanaha, and whose form is always pleasing. Eka Priya Sada, Eka means Sada. So always Priya Darshanaha. It's not that morning he is very cheerful, evening very moody and moody, whatever it is. Then again, next morning you have to wait for this fellow to be cheerful. No. Eka Priya Darshanaha. The one who is always uniformly cheerful and uniformly pleasing. Priya Darshanaha. For your eyes, he is very pleasing. Priya Darshanaha. Uniformly. Anytime you see him, he is uniformly cheerful and uniformly pleasing. So, Kascha Priyadarshanaha, Eka Priyadarshanaha. Then again, Atmavan Kojita Krodaha. Who is Atmavan? Atma means Dehaha. Atma Dehaha, Atmavan. The one who is in whose hands, the Deha is in his hands. Means well coordinated. Exactly. He is coordinated, you say that. So this coordinated, very well coordinated. Hands, legs, all of them, very well coordinated. It's a very beautiful achievement. It's an important thing also. His reflexes are all beautiful, always alert. And it's not that after falling down, he thinks, oh, I should have done this and things like that. No, always man of good reflexes. So a man of the body is very well coordinated under his control. All the limbs are well coordinated under his control. Nothing loose about the person. And so Atmavan, he is Atmavan. Atmavan, then again Jita Krodaha. Atmavan Jita Krodaha. In whom Krodaha Jitaha Yena. So Yena, by whom Krodaha, anger is Jitaha, is mastered, is won over. No more anger will take him for a ride. And so Jita Krodaha, that means together. Now you understand, he is together, is a person well integrated, and Krodha and all that, anger and all that is mastered by whom? Jita Krodaha. What a clean person, complete person, a whole round fellow. And so, then again, Atmavan ko Jita Krodaha, Dutiman ko Nasuyakaha. Dutiman. Dutiman means brilliance. So Dutiman, the one who has brilliance, Dutiman. So with one like man there. So Dutiman, the one who has got brilliance. The one who has got brilliance, Dutiman. And who is the one who is brilliant? Then again, brilliance. And then again, Ko Anasuyakaha. Then again, the one who is free from Asuya. Asuya is, so the Asuya is envy. And so somebody has got something, you can't stand it. And that is called Asuya. So Anasuyakaha, the one who is free from envy. If somebody has something, he appreciates that something. Asuya, he doesn't have. So Anasuyakaha, Kasya Bibyadi Devascha, Jataroshasya Samyuge, Jataroshasya Samyuge. Samyuge, in the battle, suppose there is a battle, where because he is a person who has to decide. So where there is dharma, justice is there. To establish justice, suppose his rosha, he is something that is, rosha means his sense in him, the sense of right and wrong, and that is aroused. And therefore roshaha, he says, so the what roshaha? Jata roshaha. So roshaha, jataha yasmin, jata roshaha. The one in whom the rosha is born. Rosha means correcting, righting the wrong. The righting the wrong is called rosha. That rosha is roused. The one in whom the rosha is roused. And once that rosha is roused, the righting the wrong, that is done, that has come up, then afterwards, even Devaha Bibyati. Devaha Bibyati, even God should be afraid of that fellow. Such a fellow is there one. I want to see that fellow, he says. Devaha Kasya, Devaha Bibyati, Devascha Bibyati. Even Chakara, even Devaha, even God's Bibyati would be afraid. And such a fellow, Jita Kroshas Cheti. So in righting the wrong, even if the gods are involved, if they have committed the wrong, then they should be afraid of him. And such a fellow is there one. Even Devascha Bibyati is an expression. So Devascha Bibyati and this Jita Kroshas Cheti, such a person, Samyuge, when there is a battle like that, is there, he is Jita Kroshaha, and he is to engage in a battle. Even gods come and they join the wrong side, he would not budge. And such a fellow, is there a fellow like that? Jita Kroshaha, Samyuge Kasya Devascha Bibyati. Yetat Ichcham Maham Shrotum Kautukalam Hime Maharshetvam Samarthosi Nyatum Yevam Vidam Naram. etadicchamyaham shrotum. Aham etati ichchami, shrotum ichchami etati. This story, the story of this man, or this man about this vishaya, etad vishayam, means a person like him, about him. This etad vishayam, I would like to know, he says. Etad vishayam, etad shrotum ichchami. I would like to listen to you, this vishayam. Means vishayam pertaining to a man like him, pertaining to a person like this. Why? Because param kautuhalam hime. So, because he says, why? Because param kautuhalam me. To hear that, his kautuhalam means I have got param kautuhalam. Param means niratishayam kautuhalam. So, niratishayam and a great enthusiasm I have got to hear. An eagerness, kautuhalam. So, I have got an eagerness to hear a life, a person like that. And then, don't tell me. So, because it should be what kind of person he should be. He says, so, this person should be of this, all that I have told you. And this, of course, I have not seen. But you are a great traveler. You must have come across fellows. Because you never remain at one place. You must have come across somebody in your great travels. So, you must have come across. And if there is a person, Maharishi, hey Maharishi. Maharishi, Rishi means the one who knows is called Rishi. Maharishi means the one Maharishi, the one who knows, Mahansya Rishishcha, the one who is great, and one who is wise, and one who is, because of which is great. Hey Maharishi, Sambodhana, hey Maharishi, Tvam Samarthosi. You are the one who is Samarthaha, who is capable. Of what? Jnatum, to know. Know whom? Yevam vidam. Means yevam vidam. This kind of a person, yevam vidam, naram, he says. This kind of a person can only be a god perhaps. Because all this to have. He says, no, I am not interested in knowing. Don't tell me Ishvara is like that. No, yevam vidam, naram, he says. Naram, I want a man on this earth who has got all this. If you tell me there in Indra Loka, I saw a fellow, he is like that, Indra is like that, Tantra is like that, don't tell me. So here, he should be Indra Chandra, maybe like that. I am not interested. Here, Naraha, like me, with 2 hands and 2 legs. And thus he should be on this earth. And he must have all these qualities, because all of them can be acquired. Is there a person who has acquired all of them, who has really grown up with all this? Such a person, have you ever seen? He says, have you ever seen? So, maybe a king must be there locally available. Have you ever seen? I have not seen. Have you ever seen? He asks him. You should be able to know that. Why? Because you are a great traveler. Maharishi tvam samarthosi jnatum yevam vidam naram shrutva chaitat trilokajnyaha valmikir narado vachaha shruyatam iti chamantriya prakrishto vakyam abraviti bhagavo durlabhaschaiva ye tvaya kirtita gunaha mune vakshyam aham buddhva tairyukta shruyatam naraha. Ikshvaguvamsha, because I have to say this today, I can't leave it like that. Therefore I will read. Ikshvaguvamsha prabhavaha Ramo nama janai shrutaha niyatatma mahaviryaha shrutiman nutiman vasi buddhiman nitiman vagmi Sriman Shatru Nibarhanaha Vipulamsa Mahabahuhu Kambugrivo Mahahanuhu Mahorasko Maheshwasaha Guda Shatruhu Arindamaha Ajanu Bahuhu Sushiraha Sulalata Suvikramaha Samasama Vibhaktangaha Snigdhavarna Pratapavan Pinavaksha Visalakshaha Lakshmivan Subha Lakshanaha Dharmajnascha Dharmajnaha Satyasandascha Prajanamcha Hite Rataha Yashasvi Jnana Sampannaha Suchirvasyaha Samadhiman Prajapati Samasriman Dhata Ripunishudanaha Rakshita Jivaloka Samudraiva Sindhubihi Aryaha Sarva Samaschaiva Sadaika Priyadarshanaha Sacha Sarva Gunopetaha Kausalya Nandavardhanaha Samudraiva Gambhirye Dhairyena Himavaniva Vishtuna Sadrisho Virye Somavat Priyadarshanaha Kala Agni Sadrisha Krode Kshamaya Prativi Samaha Dhana Dena Samastyage Satye Dharma Ivaparaha Tamevam gunasampannam Ramam satya parakramam Jeshtam sreshta gunair yuktam Priyam Dasharathas sutam Prakritinam hitair yuktam Prakriti priyakamyaya Yavarajyena samyoktum Aichat pritya mahipatihi. He says there is one who is born in the family of Ikshvaku and he is known by Rama. And then tells all about Rama, very beautiful story, we'll see that tomorrow.